I'm here with Eamon Drew from BirdDog, and they have been producing NDI products for several years now. So, Eamon, first, thank you for making the time to talk to us. I appreciate this.
I'm really excited to be on the show. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
So, I guess why don't you talk a little bit about how you've approached NDI and integrated into the whole line of products?
Yeah, sure. So the history of the company is we started in 2016. We developed a chip which does NDI processing, so encode and decode inside a dedicated silicon chip. And then, off the back of that development, we commercialized it into some products, and we have this kind of philosophy that we want to give as many things in one box as we can for our customers. And NDI is a really awesome platform to be able to do that. And so we make camera top encoders and a range of PTZ cameras and some software applications as well. Yeah.
So where you started was really the original BirdDog that everybody knows about.
Well, it's called Studio NDI. It's our flagship product. That's our little baby that started it all. That's the guy. Yeah.
So, but now you've actually added to that line to hit multiple price points and multiple needs against that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're really excited to announce our 4K range here at NAB. These will be shipping in September. We have three products in the range. We have a HDMI only encoder, an SDI only encoder, and we actually have a four independent channels of 12G SDI. So you can do 4 independent channels of 4K 60p in one tiny little box. So that's really cool.
So this could work then as like an infrastructure play, as well as on a location where you have a cluster of cameras or things that you're wiring in a localized area.
I see this being used as things like a stage box. Run 4 cameras into it, and then you can run one cable out to your TriCaster or your whatever switcher you're using that's NDI enabled. We put an SFP cage on there, so you can run 10 gig fiber for longer runs. You go 40 miles or whatever you need to do. And
okay, so that could actually then work in like the sports market, where you have a lot of folks who are doing very long runs and coverage over very broad areas.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've spent a lot of time listening to our customers, and one of the big uses for our products is in sports. And so with NDI and gigabit Ethernet, you have to repeat the signal after about 300 feet.
Yep.
But obviously with fiber, you can run much longer distances. So it sort of solves that problem. Another thing we had a lot of feedback with is because it's an IP product.
Yep.
People it has an IP address, of course, and people were when you need to find them on the network, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult. We've got a Finder app on our website that helps, but we put an OLED screen on here, and it's obviously not turned on, so you can't see it, but it'll show you the IP address on the actual unit now as well. So
I mean, it's funny. I've been talking to a lot of people, and we've all agreed that the bulk of new video production issues are really going to be around infrastructure and the whole IP framework. So that type of thing I can see as being a gem for people who are like, it's not a black box anymore. It's a black box with a little information.
Exactly. And so I imagine these. We're going to come out with a rack mount version. Rack mount option for this, so you can put 2 of these side by side on a rack. We tried to get 3 there, but the bend tolerance of the fiber wasn't enough. So so we can do 8 channels now of 4K P60 in a 1 RU space with 2 of these devices. And this is only 1995. So so for under $4,000 you can do 8 channels of 4K P60.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I mean, the other thing about NDI is it's actually audio as well as video.
Yeah, absolutely. So NDI is a total protocol. It's actually a transport stream and a codec all built into one.
Yep.
It's developed by Newtek. Dr. Andrew Cross was the inventor of NDI, and he gave it to our industry, and it's amazing. And he's done an amazing job with that. We love Newtek. They're just awesome. We're very close partners with them.
Right.
And NDI really, everyone talks about game-changing technologies. NDI truly is a game changer. Everyone sort of knows that at some point we're going to transition from baseband video to IP, but no one really knew what the format was going to be, whether we're going to go uncompressed with like SMPTE 2110, or if we're going to go into a compressed format like NDI. And I truly think that because of the auto-discovery features of NDI, NDI devices just see each other on the network, they just work with each other, you don't have to configure anything.
Right.
I think that's why the adoption of NDI has been so strong. And the fact that it goes down a single gigabit network, you don't need 10 gig infrastructure.
As a scale.
Yeah,
so you can start to run up.
Absolutely.
I mean, the other thing that's interesting that was announced at the Newtek event is that NDI 4 has a local directory. So folks for NDI. So people that have large infrastructures now can start to leverage this, which I think plays very well in sort of the broader context.
Yeah, I was really excited about the announcement of NDI 4. there's a little USB port on the front here,
Yep.
and another one of the features they added in NDI4 was sync. So now we can do ISO recording to a USB drive as well. So we'll team up with our friends over at Angelbird, and we'll make a nice little cage option for this before it ships. So we should be able to have that out by the time it ships. Yeah. So you'll be able to do 4 channels of ISO recording at the same time as encoding NDI.
So beyond encoding, though, these boxes are bidirectional, right? So you can do encode and decode.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we were the first to put NDI into a chip and do encoding, but my main man Arnold, he managed to figure out how to do decoding as well, and it was a big breakthrough for us as a company. It's opened up a lot more avenues for NDI to be used as for driving content to screens, digital signage, plays. We've got sports stadiums that we're talking to about putting them behind all the TVs in the corporate boxes, and that kind of installation. Yeah, so NDI decode for me is super exciting. We do it in all of our products. These will do 4K decoding. This one will do single channel 4K, and so will the other ones.
Yeah.
But you can also do 4 channels of HD decoding as well. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you also have a lot going on the pure software front. I mean, we talk about NDI being bits. I mean, this is one of the big advantages. Now you can touch these streams lots of different
exactly.
ways.
So when we were thinking about product design and things like that, we wanted to put as much into one box as we could, and we're all about trying to save the amount of gear people need to buy and carry to shows. So we give you tally in there. So we have a full tally system. And the beautiful thing with NDI is any NDI-enabled device or switcher that has tally, it just works. So there's 0 configuration. It's built into the NDI stream. So you don't have to worry about trying to do anything with the tally. It just works. We also give you a headset jack on the units, and that allows you to plug in a headset and then use our comms application, and you've got TalkBack.
So because you talked about like shrinking the footprint of what you need for a production. This can actually give you the feed, a return confidence, and the two-way audio you need to interact with people running the cameras.
Yeah, so at the moment we've return feed, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's been a highly requested feature for a long time. It's in development at the moment, and my engineer thinks he can have that out sort of within the next month. And like all of our updates, we just give that to free for our customers. We don't charge for any of the updates. So yeah, like with Studio NDI, we started shipping that in 2017, and it's been slowly getting better and better and better for the customers who bought it, because we keep adding new features. So yeah.
I mean, one of the things that I noticed is that you're also doing cameras. You sort of now have that next level.
Yeah, well, so one of the things that we got, many customer requests was for a full NDI PTZ camera. So we do the full NDI version, which is an iframe codec. It's visually beautiful. It's got a similar signal to noise ratio as ProRes, so the actual picture quality is great. It caps out at around 140 megabits at 1080p 60, and it goes up to about 340 megabits for 4K P60. And so we took our chip and put it inside some PTZ cameras, and now we have the world's first full NDI PTZ cameras.
Because you have, at the start of that, you have the P100, right? I mean, that's a very attractive price point, I think, for where a lot of, the viewers of this would, be looking to go, where they want to get onto the NDI space with PTZ. So could you talk a little bit about sort of that progression up?
Yeah, sure. So we've got a PTZ that starts at $14.95. It's got a 10x optical zoom and a broadcast sensor in it. And then we go up to the P200, which is my I think it's our flagship product in the PTZ range. And that's got a Sony CMOS backlit sensor and a full Sony image module. So that's all the lens and the mechanics for autofocus and zoom and things like that. We've done a lot of testing, quality testing on it, and it stacks up against cameras that are 2-3 times the price quality-wise, image quality-wise. And the mechanics are really smooth. It's got a 30x optical zoom, and it's got triple output. So it's got SDI, HDMI, and NDI all at the same time. So yeah, even if you're in a SDI workflow, you can still get the camera, and it's ready to do NDI when you are. So yeah.
And all of these products are the full NDI, correct? You're getting the best IP quality that NDI can deliver.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do all the full NDI. There's 2 flavors of NDI. There's NDI and NDI HX. All of our products are the high bandwidth NDI. We don't do any of the low bandwidth HX products. Yeah.
So that's brilliant. Is there anything else you'd like to sort of add or mention that I left off here?
No, I think that's good. We're really excited to be launching our 4K product. It's I think a lot of people are going to use this, as you said, for stage boxes and just infrastructure kind of device. It allows you to get multiple cameras into an NDI world. So yeah, we think this is really cool. We won an award for the product, and we're really excited about that. So yeah, it's been a great show.
Excellent. So if people want to connect with you, where should they go?
Yeah, so our website is bird-dog.tv.
So
yeah,
brilliant. Eamon, thank you so much for taking the time to talk. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.